What is going on, everybody? It's Luke here from Play Like a Jet, and it's schedule release day. We've made it. We know when the Jets are playing these 17 games, where they're playing them. We've got all the information, and I'm absolutely pumped to share it with you. I'm excited by this start to the season, guys. My juices are going this morning, so let's talk a little football. Obviously, the Jets' schedule was just released officially. The New York Post had a drop probably about an hour ago, beat them to it. It all starts with the Buffalo Bills. What an amazing way to start the season. 9-11 in New York, Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers against Josh Allen. Tell me it gets any bigger than that. I'm sorry, it just does not. That is a ridiculous game of football to start the season. What an opportunity to set the tone and to show the world that the Jets are the real deal. To take on Josh Allen, who's probably a top 5 to 10 quarterback in the NFL right now. Aaron Rodgers, the old dog, his first start in New York. The Jets haven't been on primetime to start the year since 2018. That was Sam Darnold's first game. We all remember the pick six. After that, obviously, the game was fantastic. We took the Detroit Lions to the cleaners. Awesome game from start to finish. But what a great opportunity. Josh Allen in prime time to shut up Bill's Twitter. I just think that's going to be mayhem. On 9/11 has obviously significance for all New Yorkers, but especially for Robert Saleh with what his brother went through being in the towers. Just going to be an unbelievable spectacle. I think it's going to be bedlam at MetLife Stadium. I don't think you get a better game to start the year. That is absolutely phenomenal. Again, appreciate everyone joining us, jumping on, talking about the Jets schedule. We then have Dallas in week 2. That's a tough road trip, guys. Number one, it's the Jets' longest road trip of the year. Is it further than Colorado? I don't know. Someone correct me. It's better at U.S. geography, but it's definitely a big trip going out to Dallas to play the Cowboys. Hell of a defensive line. You've got Micah Parsons, Lawrence on the other side. They just brought Maisie Smith in. Really nice group up front. They've definitely got the ability to rush the passer. That's going to be a test for the Jets' defensive line. And then we've also got, obviously, Dak Prescott, who's a great quarterback in his own right. Week 3 is probably the weakest part of the Jets opening to the schedule. It's the New England Patriots. Who would have thought we'd say that, right? The Patriots are the weakest part of the Jets start to the season. That's almost unheard of. We play them week 3 at home. Mac Jones is easily the worst quarterback we face to start the season. And we have Aaron Rodgers. The defense shut down New England last year. What did they hold them to? 9 points and 9 points respectively, something like that in 2 losses. Obviously, the special teams touchdown lost that second game, kind of ended the Jets season. But what a great opportunity to beat up on the Patriots to end a really long losing streak. I love getting that out of the way early. I love playing at home. And then let's flick across to week 4. In my opinion, this is the marquee matchup of the season. Aaron Rodgers against the new Aaron Rodgers, and that's Patrick Mahomes. 2 of my favorite quarterbacks to watch in the history of the sport. I said before Aaron came to the Jets, he is my favorite quarterback that I have ever watched, and he's one of my top 3 favorite players in NFL history. I just love him that much. Obviously, the Jets have not had a quarterback like that in my time being a fan since 2009. He takes on Patty Mahomes at home, and the Jets return to Sunday Night Football for the first time since 2011. They played a Thanksgiving game in 2012 as well, which was technically a Sunday Night Football game, but on the Saturday. That's just going to be a hell of a matchup, guys. All over the field, star-studded. What a great way to open the season. Look, it's tough, but I'm the guy who thinks I'd rather play those tough games early. The teams are still finding their feet. The Jets are going to be as well. Let's get out of the blocks and let's show the world who we are as a football team. We get to play games at home against tough teams early. That's a huge advantage. And I just think the Jets have got a great opportunity in front of them, and I can't wait to see this team play football. After that, we play at Denver. We won there early in the season last year in the corresponding matchup. Obviously, I had some huge injuries there. Week 6, we play Philly, the other Super Bowl team, but once again, it's at home. I'm going to split the seasons into 3 sections for me. The first is the first 6 seasons. The first 6 games of the season. We have 4 of those games at home. Then we have a bye, and then we have the Giants. The Jets play 5 of their first 7 games at home at MetLife Stadium. Yes, the Giants is an away game, but that's still a home game, obviously. We're playing in MetLife Stadium. 5 of the first 7 games at home. If you're going to play a tough slate and a tough schedule, that is exactly where you want to do it. I think that's a win for the Jets. 5 out of the first 7 across 8 weeks plus an early bye, which I mentioned I don't love the early bye. I think that's a bit of a disadvantage, but the home games are huge. There are elite teams. You could say the Jets play the best 3 teams in the NFL in the first 7 weeks of the season, 6 weeks of the season. Philly, KC, and Buffalo. You could make a strong argument. The Bengals are definitely up there as well, but you could definitely say the Jets play the three best football teams in the whole of the NFL in their opening 6 weeks. The good news is that all three of those games are at home, and that is big. The middle part of the schedule is a little softer. We have another primetime game against the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Then we play another primetime game on Sunday Night Football against the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, taking on Jimmy Garoppolo and Herbert in those 2 games. The Las Vegas game is away, so that's another big road trip for the Jets, one of their longest for the season. They don't really go to the West Coast. And then this is the section of the season that I hate probably the most. And I've just talked about a tough schedule to start. This is the part I don't like. We play Sunday night against the Oakland Raiders. You can see it there on your screen. Then we play away at Buffalo at 4:25. So you've got a nice week's turnaround there, but into a division game. And then we play Black Monday against the Miami Dolphins. So we've got back-to-back divisional games, 2 really good opponents. So the Miami Dolphins are a good football team if Tua's healthy. We play them on short turnaround on back-to-back late games on a Sunday. So from Sunday Night Football in Las Vegas to Buffalo away, an afternoon game on CBS, and then we play the Miami Dolphins on short turnaround. That's going to be a really tough 3 games. I don't like that part of the schedule. That's probably my least favorite. But the good news is it gets a hell of a lot easier after that. The Jets then go on to play the Falcons, who have a good running game, but really don't have a quarterback right now. They play the Texans, who have a rookie quarterback. The Dolphins away. The Commanders on Christmas Eve for you guys. For me, that's Christmas Day. This is going to be my Christmas in Australia. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and the fate of my Christmas and my happiness is going to depend on the New York Jets. That is scary, but I feel a lot better by the fact that it's at home and that Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback. This team I feel so much more certain about. So Aaron Rodgers against the Commanders on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day for me at 5 a.m. And then they finish out with a Thursday night game against the Browns and the Patriots to close the season. So yes, there's 2 road games to end the year, but I think both of those games are easily winnable. Mega33 in the chat. I appreciate you popping by. Says, thanks for all the amazing content, great insight and thoughtful commentary. Just wanted to let you know we appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for spending a bit of your Thursday with me, my Friday, and talking about the Jets schedule. Appreciate you, Mega33. You are the man. But yeah, pretty soft schedule. If you look at those last 6 games on screen now, guys, the Falcons through to the Patriots, I think there's one playoff team there, and I think that's the Dolphins. Outside of that, I think you've got 5 teams that aren't going to make the playoffs, and I think the Jets have an opportunity to make a run. Yes, 3 of the last 4 on the road, but by then you'd like to think the Jets are cooking. They've got all the momentum in the world, and I'm pretty excited about that. Guys, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this schedule, because I know some people are going to be scared about the start of it and seeing the Bills, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, and the Eagles early. Speed Doctor, how you doing, my brother? He says the Jets are going 13-4. Man, if they do, it's going to be absolute bedlam in the playoffs. Could you imagine that I'm flying over to MetLife if we make the playoffs and go 13-4 as the 1 or 2 seed? That is absolutely wild. That would be incredible. What do you think about the Jets playing the Bills in week 1? Do you like that matchup? Would you like the softer game? Kind of what's your thoughts on that? How do you feel about playing the Chiefs week 4? 5 primetime games for the Jets, which is the max, plus the Black Friday game, which is a standalone fixture as well. So realistically, the Jets have got 6 primetime games. They've maxed out completely and could still get a flex later in the year as well. The NFL's left that open. So potentially the Jets could have 7 primetime games if this goes the way we hope. I'll pop the schedule on the screen one more time. You can see it right there. The Jets have the early bye. I mentioned I don't particularly like that. For me, the bye is optimal between weeks 9 and 12. I was hoping it would be in week 11 where we play the Bills. I didn't want back-to-back road games. That's another thing I'll point out. The Jets have back-to-back road games twice through the year. So that stretch I talked about from Vegas to Buffalo and then Cleveland to New England. Dan the man in the comments says, I prefer the Jets to have easy opponents week 1 to get Rodgers used to playing with his new teammates. I get that perspective for sure. When the Jets have got that new chemistry, they're looking for a little edge. They got to gel a little bit more. You want that weaker opponent. I just think sometimes it's better to get these elite teams early in the season before they're rolling as well. Yes, they're at an advantage because they have their quarterback wide receiver relationships, but at least Rodgers has been with Lazard, with Hackett, with Cobb, and there's a little bit of continuity there as well. Speed Doctor says, we have the Bills number. We're not scared. Look, I agree that the Bills have really struggled against the Jets defense over the last 5 years. Even when the Jets have been a poor football team, we've played well and held up well against Josh Allen. He has not played well against the New York Jets. Tommy is in the chat. 5 primetimes games. The NFL doesn't care that I had to go to bed at 10 p.m. Look, it's even worse for me, Tommy. I'm not trying to, overshoot your story here, but for me, these Monday night games and stuff, that's 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. Like, I'm at work midday on a Tuesday. That is a rough time to watch a game of football. I've always been okay with the early slot because it means getting up between 3 and 5 a.m., depending on the time differentials with daylight savings. It is going to be rough, all these primetime games, trying to find a way to watch them at work, take time off work. It is going to be mayhem. So I'm with you right there, Tommy. Mega agrees with what Speed Doctor said. A lot of people saying when they think we've got the Bills number, which is good to see. Joey in the chat says 3-0 first 3 games. If we go into Sunday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs and are 3-0, that game is going to rate through the roof. Mahomes versus Rodgers at MetLife Stadium, 3-0. Could you imagine? That would be incredible. He also says, Joey does, that Aaron Rodgers owns the Cowboys. Just think about all the playoff games he's had against Dallas, how many times he's broken their heart with late drives, the throw down the sideline to the tight end. I think it was Brett Maher was the kicker when he hit the post against Green Bay. There's just been so many instances where, Aaron Rodgers has owned the Green Bay Packers. And look, I think we can win that game. Dallas is a tough road trip, dome team, but we'll see how we fare in that one. Ray is in the chat. He says the first month and a half will be a challenge for our beloved Jets, but we also know the team will be ready to fight. Go Jets, baby. I agree. I think I just like being tested out of the gates. I don't want to be 2-1 early on against 3 weak teams and not really know where I stand. Let's get a good idea of where this football team is. And if we struggle out of the gates, we have a good end to the season. You can make up ground. You only need 10 wins to make the playoffs, 11 to be sure. Let's see how it unfolds. So I'm pretty intrigued to see how that goes. And then Joey says Rodgers also has a positive record against the Chiefs and the Eagles. I saw a stat that was incredible from Glenn Norton, who does great work over on Twitter and makes a ton of great Jets content. He was across on our stream on draft night. That Rodgers' record against all opponents the Jets play this year is like 78% winning. Like, he had phenomenal touchdown to interception ratio. If you haven't seen it, after you get off the stream, go and check out Glenn Norton, and he had the stats up there with what Aaron Rodgers has done against all the Jets opponents. So there was some pretty cool stuff there. What I was thinking about doing now, guys, I thought it would be interesting if we did a little win-loss prediction, yeah? So I'm not huge on this. I don't like shooting my shot early, but let's have a little bit of fun, all right? I'm going to bring up the Jets' schedule on the screen, and we're going to go through and put a little tick and cross next to them and see if we think the Jets are winning or losing that game. I want you to help me out in the comments because, I'm not an expert. I'm just like you guys. We're battling to see what the Jets are going to do. So I'm pulling it up now. Here we go. So Jets versus Bills in week 1. I think this is going to be a win. I honestly do. And this isn't me just being a Jets homer. I think the Jets win in week 1. So I'm going to pop this up on the screen right now. We're going to go add to stream. Here we go. I know it's a little bit small. I'll make it a bit bigger. You can see it. But Bills week 1, I say that's going to be a win for the New York Jets. Let's put a tick across there now. So we're winning in week 1. Dallas in week 2. What do we reckon? What do we reckon? Dallas in week 2. Let me know in the chat if you think the Jets are going to beat Dallas in week 2. I don't know. I think that's going to be a tricky game to start. That's probably the one I'm most unsure about in the first 3 weeks. I think we handle the Patriots too. Dallas is going to be tricky. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Dallas, is that a win or is that a loss? I'm going to – look, you're going to hate me. I'm sorry. I'm going to say the Dallas game is a loss. That's just my gut feeling. I think the Jets are going to struggle on that road trip. We're not a proven team away from home yet. I'm going to say we lose that. But I'm going to say we go out there and we absolutely destroy the New England Patriots and we set the tone. So hopefully that's a little bit bigger on your screen now. Here's where we are so far. We've got a win against Buffalo week 1, 9-11, Monday Night Football, under the lights of MetLife. That's going to happen. Locked it in. I love it. I'm going against you here, Speed Doctor. I'm saying we're going to struggle against Dallas. I just think that's going to be a tricky game. And then I think we're going to smash the Patriots. I think we're going to win that game by 20 plus. I'm calling it right now. I'm shooting my shot. I'm with you, Mega. I'm looking forward to absolutely destroying the Pats. What do we reckon about week 4? This is the first real test for the Jets. They play the Kansas City Chiefs at home, Sunday Night Football, the world watching, Mahomes, one of the best defensive lines in the country. Do we think the New York Jets can realistically beat the Chiefs? Let me know. Drop it in the chat. James Jameson reckons it's going to be WWWW everywhere. I wish I felt the same. I'm worried about this game. Field goal game, says Joey. GVH says he likes getting the Pats early. I totally agree. Get that monkey off our backs. There's a few people saying we're gonna win. We're gonna beat the Chiefs. Mega says it's gonna be a tight loss. Joey says a 3-point loss. I think I'm going like that. I think I'm gonna say it's gonna be definitely a 1-possession loss for the New York Jets. Sorry, we're starting 2-2, but that is not disastrous when you factor in the back half of the season for the Jets. After that, look, we're 100% beating Let's Ride and that whole deal going on what have I done? I'm sorry. Over in Denver, we're going to beat the Denver Broncos. Let me know if you disagree, but I can't see us losing to Denver. So right now we're 3-2 and we come into the game against the Eagles. I think we're going to win one of these games against the Eagles and the Chiefs. So I'm putting this down as a win. Look, I know the Eagles are a fantastic roster. I think Jalen Hurts was fantastic last year. I still think he's got a bit to prove. I still think last year was one season. I honestly believe that the New York Jets are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles and move to 4-2. So let's put that up as a big W right now. I'm going to put a green tick on the New York Jets against the Philadelphia Eagles. So I don't know if that's a risky thing to say, but that's where I've got us right now. I've got the New York Jets at 4-2 going into the bye. Speed Doctor, we've flipped games. You think we're going to lose against the Eagles? I'm going to give us a win there, and I'm giving us a loss against the Chiefs. I just think the lights might be a little bit bright for some of the younger Jets. Not Sauce or anyone like that, but that's a tough game to play the world champs week 4 early in the season. Joey says it's going to be a win against the Eagles. Here's the thing, guys. We have never beaten the Philadelphia Eagles. I wanted to say this. Never in Jets history have we beaten this freaking football team from that annoying city nearby in Philadelphia. We got to win this. Joey says Hurts to win, to throw a pick 6. I can see it. Sauce, DJ, one of those dogs taking the ball back. Even Michael Carter, he did it against the Patriots on that ball that was called back. We need to beat Philadelphia. If we're going to make a deep playoff run, this is the season to buck the trends. We're going to beat New England. We are beating the Philadelphia Eagles for the first time in franchise history. Joey's right. Rodgers certainly has beaten them before. He's beaten just about every team in the NFL outside of the Green Bay Packers, which will have a chance to possibly amend next year, depending on the roster and the schedule. The Jets will play one extra NFC team next season. So we'll see how that plays out. So right now, going into the bye, I have us at 4-2. The Giants away, which is obviously also at home. That's a win for me. I just think the Jets are so much better at quarterback than Daniel Jones. I see that as a 7+ game for the New York Jets. I don't think they have any issues beating Daniel Jones and that Giants roster. I think they overachieved last year. I think that's a win. Joey agrees with me. He says Giants game is a W just because the home game for both teams. I think Daniel Jones won't like. He's not one of the quarterbacks to beat Rodgers. I agree. I think the Jets have too big a advantage when you talk about their ability at quarterback. Daniel Jones just isn't that guy yet. Ray says the Giants suck. Look, Daboll did a good job with this roster last year. They weren't particularly talented, but I just can't see us losing. Everyone in the chat kind of seems to agree. Speed Doctor's with us. We're beating the Giants. So the Jets are right now a 5-2. And we come into the stretch of the season, which I'm not particularly fond of. So we got 2 primetime games, 3 if you include the Miami Dolphins game. So we're going up against the Chargers at home. That's a big road trip for the Chargers. They don't travel particularly well. I can't see on the screen right now. That's a Monday night game, isn't it? So I like the Jets' chances of winning that. Again, man, I'm doing this and I feel like such a Jets homer. I'm just putting wins everywhere. But the Chargers are traveling across country on prime time. Justin Herbert just hasn't quite shown me that he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL yet. I think he's got a bit to prove, so that's a win. Right now, the Jets are 6-2. I'm going to lose my marbles if the Jets are 6-2 at this point in the season. That's unbelievable. Where have you guys got us right now? So right now we're through 9 weeks, 8 games. I've got us at 6-2. Where have you got us? Are you kind of with me? Am I being unrealistic? Am I absolutely insane? I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm crazy or not, if I'm just buying into this. Saquads ain't running through that D-line. The Jets' run defense is so much better this year, guys. Bringing in Al Woods was huge. Quinnen Williams is obviously one of the best players in the NFL. I was begging the Jets to draft him in 2019. Thank goodness they listened. Jets pass rush will hurt Herbert. That's the other group I want to talk about. I know I talked about the run stopping a little bit, but the edge group is so deep this season. JFM can play inside because we have so much talent. I think they can really trouble that Chargers O-line, which has got better with Rashawn Slater and some of those dogs up front, but I think we can definitely beat it. Slime says he'd switch the Cowboys and Eagles. Totally get it. I just think the Jets are going to be a better chance of winning at home. Everyone seems to be kind of 6-1, 6-2, 7-1, all that kind of stuff. So I've got the Jets as 6-2, and we move on to the Raiders. The Jets are going to have to drop one of these games soon. Like they're not going to go on a 10-game winning streak in the middle of the season for me. But man, I struggle to see Aaron Rodgers losing to Jimmy Garoppolo and freaking McDaniels. I don't see it. Jets win again. Jets beat the Raiders. Let's go. Big tick on the screen. Sorry, it gets a little bit small. We're losing to Buffalo away. I'm really sorry. I know I've said all these things about the Jets playing well against Josh Allen, against Buffalo. If we're coming off a 5-game winning streak and we've had 4 games in a row, we've got a double road trip coming off Sunday Night Football, I just think that's a really difficult game for the New York Jets. And I think we probably lose that. Am I insane? Am I being too critical? But I see us losing to the Bills. So that takes us to 6-3 is where I have us right now. Garoppolo will be hurt by then, going back to the Raiders game. You can imagine that would happen. Jimmy G is made of glass. But moving back onto the Bills, look, Buffalo's a tough place to play, getting a little bit colder. They gave Aaron Rodgers a bit of trouble last year. Rodgers actually had a good game, but overall the Green Bay offense kind of sputtered. They struggled to score points. Rodgers was kind of out there doing it by himself. So yeah, Speed Doctor says we're going to lose to the Bills. I tend to agree. The Jets are at 7-3. I think I can't count. Sorry. That's week 11. So 7-3. And we're coming to the Black Friday game against the Miami Dolphins. Joey is emphatic that we are winning against the Dolphins. Look, obviously, I haven't been to a Jets game yet in my life. But from what I heard, MetLife last year against the Dolphins was absolutely electric. The Quinnen Williams fend-off, the Sauce Gardner safety to start the game with Tua knocking him out. With Teddy Bridgewater, knocking him out of the game. Just an absolutely phenomenal performance from the Jets from start to finish. I think we can definitely beat them. I think we have the defensive line that will give the Dolphins hell. And I think we have an advantage at quarterback. I think really outside of receiver and safety, the Jets have a better roster than the Dolphins. The Dolphins are a good football team. I'm not here saying the Dolphins are no good. Zuck says Tua turned the ball over, ain't doing anything, bruh. Look, that would be great. And I think he will struggle against our defense. I think we're going to win that game at MetLife Stadium. So I'm going to pop it back across to Canva. Let's put a W there. We're not losing back-to-back games in division. This is the year the Jets finally have an opportunity to play better within the AFC East. They're beating the Dolphins. Now we hit the fun part of the schedule because, I see a lot of wins here. I know it's a bit small on your screen here, but the Jets have got the Falcons, the Texans, the Dolphins again, Washington, Cleveland, and the Patriots, right? I think there's probably a trap game in there somewhere. And I want to agree with Slime so bad. Slime says that he thinks we beat the Dolphins twice. I kind of feel it. It feels like one of those years where we could sweep a couple of these AFC East teams for the first time. Feels like ever. Honestly, it does. It's been that long since we've had dominant performances in the AFC East. Falcons game's going to be a win. We're beating the Falcons. We're beating the Texans. I think they're 2 games that I think we're definitely going to take care of. Hey, Mega's got a big call here in the chat. He says that we're actually going to win out. The Jets are not losing another game. If they do that, the Jets will be 14-3, and they will definitely be the 1 seed, you'd imagine. They don't have the tiebreaker against the Chiefs, but I just can't see the Jets rattling off 7 wins to end the year. So the Falcons, who have they got? Honestly, look, they've got a good offensive core as far as skill position players. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, obviously drafted a running back very, very early this year. So they got a good group, but they just don't have a quarterback. You think Ritter's going to beat Aaron Rodgers on the road? I just don't think. I don't think they have a chance. Joey says he's got us going 15-2, which is absolutely wild. I just can't quite subscribe to it. Bijan's going to get bodied. Their offensive line's actually pretty good as well. If you have a look, they had the second best rushing attack in the NFL last year. It's irrelevant though. The Falcons are not beating the New York Jets in MetLife Stadium. The Jets have actually been okay at MetLife the last couple of years, and I think they're going to win that game of football. I think they're going to beat the Houston Texans. Again, CJ Stroud, rookie quarterback. I don't think that's going to be an issue for Robert Saleh on this defensive front. So I'm giving a win there for the New York Jets. Back-to-back weeks, 3-game winning streak at home. I love those kind of stretches in the season where you play 3 winnable games at home. That is absolutely awesome. Mega says maybe we lose in week 18 when we play the backups. That would be cool. Slime thinks we beat everyone except the Patriots. That's interesting. See, I think, I'm going to talk about it right now. I think we're going to drop this game against the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are a better team than Jets Twitter, Jets social media world wants to give them credit for. I think they're actually pretty good. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they're probably the best, if not one of the top 3 wide receiver duos in the NFL. Tua's a fine quarterback. He can win games at home. Excuse me. I think we lose that game. I agree with Speed Doctor. We beat the Texans, sorry. I just think we lose to Miami. I don't know if we're quite there yet to go on that kind of run and win 7-8 games to end the season. I don't think we're quite there. So I've got us losing definitely a 1-score game, maybe like a 27-24 game to the Miami Dolphins. I think we beat the Commanders. I'm going to put that there in readiness. But I have us losing week 15 at Miami. I just don't think this football team has enough of an advantage over the Dolphins for me to sit here and honestly say to you guys, I think we win that easily away from home. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do we sweep the Dolphins? Yes or no? Put it in the chat right now. Do the New York Jets sweep the Miami Dolphins in 2023? Yes or no? I think it's no, as you can see. But I'm pretty pumped because right now the Jets have still won a lot of football games. What have they played? 15. We've lost 4. So we're 11-4 right now. 11-4. This is tough. Everyone's saying yes. Look at these comments. Everyone saying, yes, we are going to sweep the Dolphins. Man, I hope you guys are right. If we sweep Miami, man, this could be a special season. So right now, as I said, the Jets are, what are we, 11-4? Yeah, 11-4. There's 17 games now. Mega says if any of these games could be an upset, it's probably the Dolphins. It's in one of those weird low-scoring divisional games, maybe the weather or something. Good thing is you're probably going to get decent weather in Miami that time of the year. Any time of the year in Miami, really. So I think that will be okay. It's unlikely we get a, snowball like we could get in the last game of the season against the Patriots. Slime says the Dolphins struggled last year with our defense. We just didn't have the offense. It's true, but they also didn't have Tua. I think they had Skylar Thompson twice, which is something we kind of have to remember. He's a quarterback 3, undrafted free agent who was just thrown to the wolves effectively. So Tua's not elite, but Tua is a top 12 to 15 quarterback who can make a big difference to their offense. So I think we have to remember that as well. Slime says he reckons we're going to win 12 games. Arnold says Tua won't last the whole season. So yes, that is a factor. It is. I mean, you're talking about deep into the season. Who knows? And then how about them? Jets says, as long as we sweep the Patriots. I feel that to my core. Here's my game that's probably going to upset people. So I've got us beating the Commanders on Christmas Day for me. It's going to be a beautiful Christmas. Presents all around. My son's going to be happy. Fantastic. I'm excited about that. Speed Doctor says, let's not be delusional, guys. The Dolphins have a top 12 roster. I'd agree with that. We're beating the Commanders. I'm not going to get too deep into that. Is Sam Howell their quarterback? I don't know. Ron Rivera seems to like him. They got a good D-line, but they don't have enough weapons for me. Terry McLaurin's a good football player, but I just don't think they've got enough. So I think we beat them. I think we lose one of these games, and I think it's going to be against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's a tough place to play. I think a lot of people got fooled by Deshaun Watson to end the season last year. Take away what Deshaun Watson is as a person and what your thoughts are of Deshaun Watson. As Joey says, beat Watson. I think he's a really good quarterback. He was a top 5 quarterback before he was suspended and didn't play. He came in late last year after sitting down, not playing football for 15, 14 weeks, however long it was. And then the season was kind of over. There was nothing to win for him or for the Cleveland Browns. I think he's still got elite quarterback play in him. I think we could lose this game. I think this is the game I look at late in the season. 3 of the last 4 on the road. You're traveling a lot. And I think Deshaun Watson's still an elite quarterback. I think he's going to surprise guys this year. I could be way off. And what we saw the last little part of the season might be the real Deshaun Watson now after Massage Gate and everything that happened there. I still think he's an elite quarterback. And I think he's going to have a really good season. So I actually think we're going to lose that game of football. So I'm extremely sorry. I have the New York Jets losing against the Cleveland Browns. A Thursday night football game. There's just a lot of factors there. If you think Thursday night football is one of the most common games for the home team to win, the probability of winning a Thursday night football on the road is actually really low. And then guess what? A big green tick to finish the year against the New England Patriots. So here's my schedule prediction. I've got us losing 5 games this year against the Dallas Cowboys, The Kansas City Chiefs, there's nothing wrong with losing to either of those football teams. So we're starting 4-4. We're 4-2 at the bye after a huge win against the Philadelphia Eagles for the first time in franchise history. I can't freaking wait to beat the Philadelphia Eagles and their cocky fans. That is going to be unbelievable. I thought it was happening in 2015, and then freaking Darren Sproles had like 3 touchdowns, man. That was a sickening game. Fitzpatrick let me down. Let's not talk about that anymore. Then I got the Jets losing again, not for another 6 weeks until they played the Buffalo Bills on the road. And then we're also losing games, 2 of the last 4 for the season against Miami and against Cleveland, which is a little bit tricky. Jorge says, I think we go 3-3 before the bye and go undefeated after the bye. That would be unbelievable. I'm taking, 11 straight wins to end the season for sure. So that's where I've landed, I guess. We're finished. The New York Jets in their 17 games are losing, what are we losing? 5 games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12-5. That's a good season. You're making the playoffs. You're winning the division, I would say. If we go 12-5, I think we have a good opportunity to win the division because we've gone 4-2 in the division and we've only lost 4 games in the AFC conference. So that's interesting. Joey says the 2015 Jets went 10-6 and not going to the playoffs. It was so annoying. I still remember when we beat the Giants and the Patriots in back-to-back weeks in those 2 thrillers. We had it in our own hands. We controlled our destiny over Pittsburgh. And then that week 17 against Buffalo was just, man, that was depressing. Speed Doctor says Rodgers always on fire to end the year. We beat the Browns. Yeah, I agree for the most part. Once the thumb got healthy last year, he actually had a stinker to close out the year against Detroit when they had a chance to make the playoffs, Green Bay. That was his worst game of the year for sure. That was disappointing as someone who wanted Green Bay to make the playoffs and to see Aaron Rodgers go on a run from a low seed again. But yeah, you're right. He usually closes out the season well. And that's where I've landed. I've got the Jets going 12-5 this year. I didn't really sit there before I came on the stream and think, this is how I'm going to map it out. I just had a look at the stretches of the season I liked, the stretches I didn't like, and that's where I landed. The Jets going 12-5, which would be a phenomenal turnaround. They've got a talented young roster. Let me know what your prediction is. Drop it in the chat. What's your record prediction for the New York Jets in 2023? As I said, I had us going 12-5, losing 4 games, one of those to the NFC, 4 AFC games to Buffalo, Miami, Cleveland, and also the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. So I've got the Jets losing a couple of primetime games, which is disappointing, losing against Cleveland on Thursday Night Football and the Sunday Night Football against the Chiefs, but winning 3 primetime games and the Black Friday. Not bad, says Speed. Dr. Ray says we're not losing against the perv in Cleveland. Let's hope so. I just think there's a trap game down the stretch every season. And playing 3 of the last 4 on the road is a tough ask for any roster, especially a relatively young roster. So we'll see. How about them Jets? Says 11-6 and still win the division. It's a chance. If we win 4 out of our 6 divisional games, I think you can win the division with that record. I do. But it's going to be tough because Buffalo are going to win a lot of games this year. Obviously, everyone in the AFC plays everyone in the AFC East plays everyone in the AFC West. So they have that tough draw against the Chiefs. I think they play the Chiefs away, which is cool. That's a good result. They play the Raiders, they play the Chargers, they play the Broncos. So they have a similar schedule to us. They obviously get a first team schedule though. So they play other first team in the AFC in the other divisions. So they have a little bit of a tougher schedule than we do. It all depends on A-Rod. It does. Aaron Rodgers is the factor, guys. Last year, we were a 7-win football team with some bad injury luck, but also played a lot of backup quarterbacks. 7 wins is probably what the Jets deserved last year, in my opinion. Like, people might not agree with that. I don't think we were ready to win a ton of football games. We got very lucky with playing Skylar Thompson twice, Trevor Siemian, Mitch Trubisky, Jacoby Brissett. And then obviously we had Zach Wilson and Mike White at quarterback. It kind of offset itself. AVT and Brees got injured, the season kind of petered out. I get it. I think we're a 7 or 8 football team last year. So we'll see. I think we can make the jump with A-Rod. Rico the Pup says all AFC East teams have a top 7 strength of schedule. I don't know if any team gets more than 12 wins this year. I agree. 12 definitely wins it. There's a chance that 11 can win it as well. In saying that, what do we do every year? Last year, I sat there and went, oh my goodness, the Jets' schedule to start the season is tough. And people were saying the Jets could be 1-5. Could you imagine that? Zach Wilson's gone. Well, Zach Wilson's gone, but the Jets started 4-2, 5-2, I think, in the end. And then the season petered out after that because you have injuries and you have upsets and all of these things that go into it. Speed Doctor says strength of schedule is pretty mid. I get it. I think, look, it's the best way, the best tool we have to look at who the teams are playing and how tough their schedule is. But at the same time, you're basing it off last year's results, teams, rosters, and everything else. So it is a bit of a tricky one to go off. Sergeant Mike says 15-2, but the rest will steal one from us. So 14-3, all depends on the O-line. The O-line is going to be big this year. Can they stay healthy? Mekhi Becton, can he be healthy? AVT, how does he bounce back from the elbow bicep injury? Tomlinson, can he be better than he was last year? I got no idea, but I'm excited to see. So that's the Jets schedule. I'll pop it up one more time. That's the wins and losses that I have as having. I have the Jets going 12-5 right now, which will win the division, I believe. So I got the Jets winning the AFC East, I should say. After that, you probably get a home playoff game. And then if you're the 2 seed, you're likely away for the AFC Championship game, probably to Kansas City, which will be an absolute nightmare, maybe the Bengals. But this is so exciting. I haven't predicted a Jets team to win more than 9 games in like 5 years. So this is I'm so pumped, guys. This is awesome. I am excited. We've got Christmas Day games for me in Australia, Christmas Eve for you guys. We got Black Friday games around Thanksgiving. We've got a prime time to start the season. It's just everything is exciting. I can't wait to watch this football team. So I'm absolutely pumped. I'll leave you with this. Speed Doctor says Will Rogers win the MVP. If he goes scorched earth and wins the MVP after going 12-5 and taking this New York Jets team to prominence, man, what will that do for his legacy? I'm not a huge legacy guy, but holy moly, can you imagine if Aaron Rodgers wins a 5th MVP? And Joey P says it's going to be a Jets-Niners Super Bowl. The Salah Super Bowl, that'd be fun. I like that. I think the Jets have a chance because they got the better quarterback. So that's exciting. Guys, I appreciate you jumping on with me, spending some time on your Thursday night, Friday morning for me, jumping in, having a chat, talking about the Jets schedule. It's super exciting. It's so refreshing to feel excited about the Jets season. I'm so pumped about it. So appreciate you jumping on. If you could do me a favor, like the stream. If you're not subscribed, do so already, guys. Does a lot for the channel. Doesn't cost you any money, but just helps us out to keep growing the channel and get more content. I'm going to make a lot more of the film reviews. They're coming. I want to do a live stream next week. What I want you guys to do is either jump on my Twitter if you've got it, LukeGrant7, write to me on YouTube in the comments. Who do you want to break down live? I want to do a live film breakdown live like this through StreamYard. Bring up the film in that screen where I've got the schedule now, and I want to break down some film. People can fire some questions at me, talk about all that kind of stuff. I want to do that. Do we want to do a player like Will McDonald? Do we want to look at Aaron Rodgers against the Buffalo Bills last year? Let me know if you have some ideas. I want to do a film breakdown live with you guys, kind of give you my thought process as I'm breaking it down. You can ask me some questions, and we can talk a little Jets football. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining me on today's stream. I'll see you soon. The Jets are going 12-5 in 2023 with 5 primetime games and a Black Friday. I cannot wait. Thanks for jumping onto the stream, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys. Peace.